Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the National Anthem of Australia.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I now present to you the Deputy Chancellor of Monash University, Mr. Shane Buggle, who will open this graduation ceremony.
Graduands and guests, our guest speaker, Professor Stephen King, Madam Provost and Senior Vice President, Professor Edwina Cornish, Vice President of Academic Board, Professor Julie Stout, Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics, Professor Colin Carney, distinguished visitors, members of the faculty, it is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Council of Monash University to this 1006th graduation ceremony of Monash University, which has been performed on country for which the Kulin nations have been the traditional owners and custodians for many centuries. The university acknowledges their cultures, and we pay our respects to their elders, past and present. I now call upon the Provost and Senior Vice President, Professor Edwina Cornish, to address the Assembly.
Mr. Deputy Chancellor, members of the Monash University Council, our guest speaker, Professor Stephen King, graduands, colleagues and guests. Today is one of celebration for you. To everyone graduating, I offer my warm congratulations. The ceremony is formal, the rituals drawing upon centuries of practice in graduations, including the particular elements that are special to Monash. Formality doesn't signal lack of enjoyment or passion. It serves to mark an occasion that joins each graduating student to the many who came before you and many who will follow. The effort you all, students, and in many cases your families and friends, have made to reach this point deserves recognition. It deserves to be treated with a certain gravity and seriousness. It serves as an acknowledgement that today you join a line of graduates that dates back to not just the first Monash ceremony in 1964, but to an academic tradition that begins with the University of Bologna in 10,088. Today, the university certifies that you have acquired the analytical abilities, the deep knowledge of your fields, and the capabilities that a Monash degree implies. Valuable as those things are, we like to think that you have taken away more than this from your time here at Monash. We hope you have forged values that reflect the ones that this university holds dear. We hope that we have nurtured in you the love of discovery that is expressed in the university's motto, Ancora Imparo. Those words, attributed variously to Dante and Michelangelo, translate as, I'm still learning, or I'm still discovering. It is unlikely that you got here in the first place without a healthy intellectual curiosity. But hopefully your time here has strengthened that determination to understand more of ourselves and the world. More importantly, it should have helped you to recognise that the hunger for knowledge can be a powerful force for good. We also hope that your time here has shaped the nature and raised the level of your ambition in a way that reflects the level of ambition of the university itself. Monash is widely regarded as being one of the world's top 100 universities, a position it has reached in less than 60 years. But that is not where our ambition lies. A strong reputation should only be a byproduct of ambition. What is important is the scale and usefulness of the challenges we set ourselves. Monash academics and students are researching how disease and conflict impact the living standards of future generations in the developing world. They are designing healthcare, superannuation systems, and sanitation infrastructure in developing and industrialised countries, and they are working with the World Bank to design environmental and trade strategies for sustainable growth and development. Our alumni have attained high public office, have established organisations that create thousands of jobs, and even opened a school inside a prison to give young offenders a second chance. For you, who knows what form it will take? Implicit in all of these varied ambitions is the idea of service. The notion that the most noble end to which one can direct one's talents and efforts is the greater good. As our namesake, the great Australian Sir John Monash once wrote, "Equip yourself for life, not solely for your own benefit, but for the benefit of the whole community." This does not mean that we expect every Monash graduate to discover life-saving vaccines or end global warming, but there should always be an awareness that the decisions you make and the actions you take in your professional and personal lives have implications for all of us. From the advantages you gain from your education here is always an opportunity to give something to others. We also seek to inculcate in our students an openness to new ideas, perspectives, and cultures. Your education would not have succeeded were your opinions and preconceptions not challenged. The diversity of experience of your fellow students, as well as the ideas and experience provided by your lecturers, should have sketched new horizons and new ways of understanding the world. It is this openness that has underpinned Monash's international focus. At Monash, some 25% of our undergraduates spend time during their degrees in another country. And with campuses in Malaysia, India, China, and an alliance with the UK's Warwick University and a centre in Prato, in Italy, Monash is one of the world's most internationalised universities. Whether your career takes you to Australia, Asia, Europe, or the Americas, when you meet employers, clients, and professional contacts, there is some chance you will meet another Monash graduate. You were educated in a university that has prepared you to work successfully in global teams, and this is very much the future of employment. Our university has campuses and alliances internationally, and these now allow us to collaborate with others to solve problems that affect the whole world. They bring engagement with organisations and industries that seek our graduates, as well as the expertise of our researchers. They provide opportunities for our students, along with the opportunities in Australia, to learn within and outside the campus. But the final value that I would like to invoke today is respect. You have been given the privilege of a wonderful education. You are all very able, blessed with the capacity to tackle academic tasks successfully. These are powerful advantages, so use them wisely. Be ethical, be honest, aspire always to fairness, and be generous with your time. Be generous in your assessment of others and in the credit you give them. By doing this, you will prove yourself worthy of the investment that your families, the university, and your community have made in you. So again, on behalf of the university, I offer my sincere congratulations. Thank you. I now call upon Professor Colin Carney, Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics.
Mr. Deputy Chancellor, I certify to you and to the Council of Monash University that all candidates now to be presented and those others listed in your copy of the graduation programme have fulfilled the conditions prescribed by the Council of Monash University for admission to the degrees and for the award of the diplomas indicated in the programme. Would all candidates for degrees and diplomas of the Faculty of Business and Economics please stand?
Graduands, with the authority of Council, I admit you to the degrees and award the diplomas to which you are entitled. I also admit to the degrees and award the diplomas to which they are entitled those others who are absent today, but are listed in my copy of the graduation programme. Graduates, as you now are, this moment marks an important milestone in your lives. This ceremony is a visible culmination of your hard work and commitment. Your achievements are outstanding, and you should always look back on this moment with great pride. I personally congratulate you, and I ask the members of the audience to applaud your accomplishments.
Please be seated. Mr. Deputy Chancellor, graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics will be presented to you by Dr. Ross Booth, Course Director for Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Economics programs and Senior Lecturer in the Department of Economics of the Faculty of Business and Economics.
Mr. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics who have been admitted to the following degrees and awarded the following diplomas today. Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Commerce, Megan Elizabeth Blandy. Jessica Rosa Check. Jasmine Cara Emery. Chuan Xiang Sean Fu. Dean Georgakopoulos. Laura Natalie Guillaume. Zoya Imran. Adam Max Jacobson. Asya Jain. Matthew Y. Jing Kong. Tiernan Brad Lacey. Bronwyn Lee. Sneha Lees. Maurice Stewart Juhan Lim. Lisa Ellie Ludsky. Brittany Grace Lum. Jackson Lai. Finley James Madison. Alexandra Grace Markson. Samuel Charles Morton. Melina Neng. Joselle Carissa Singson. Jacob Alexander Stone. Gloria Sun. Jen Ping Tan. Angelique Laivo. Amelia Elise Watt. Jenny Wong. Stephanie Corvera Wood. Joanne Ziner. Bachelor of Arts Global and Bachelor of Commerce, Christina Alexopoulos. Rachel Ann Bunshaw. Rachel Rosemary Heffernan. Zoe Zhengzheng Li. Madeline Veronica Merritt. Claudia Josephine Ann Mitchell. And Z Ken Tang. Bachelor of Biomedical Science and Bachelor of Commerce, Taryn Lee Edelstein. Kajun Hoang. Julia Elizabeth Krumer. Adrian Sue Tangku. Jessica Audrey Lim. Tiet An Jenny Pang. Din Kan Tang. Sakshi Sanjaya Thakur. Josephine Tigani. Bachelor of Business Information Systems and Bachelor of Commerce, Tyler David Aitken. Michael Lai. Kai Yan Lin. Jessica Siyanan. Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Economics, Eric Michael Bakhazi. Ellis Sam Brash. Jeremy Matthew Chaves. Natalie Shushin Chin. Ryan David Dagnall. Darren Fong. Julika Marie Gunanaya Agam. Rebecca Ellen Holmes. Georgia Hunter. Emily Claire Kirkman. Fung Lam. Lo Yi Lin. Constance Mihalidis. Angela No. Tarani Ratnakumar. Thomas Edward Rayner. Alexander Edwin Setiawan. Alexander Gordon Sibyl. Fraser Bennett Smith. Jackson Leaf Sword. Brenton John Zabo. Nathania Sui Juante. Gabriela Teja. Mayuran Tava Raja. Kimberly Bezhen Yan. Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Science, Joshua Meyer Appleboom. Natalie Artenstein. Hoi Lam Chan. Anna Cho. Alice Monique Clark. Caitlin Rose Connolly. Dana Akushla Cummins. Jessica Amy Davis. Derek Si Wei James Dylan Fanke. Amanda Wynne. Andrew Paul Ireland. Aubert Emmanuel Kubwanga. Karen Jiren Ling. Matthew Lee Liu. Laura Alicia Ross. Nipuni Sajitra Silva. Ilyas Sujak Bakir. Vincent Win Seng Tang. Arandi Iresha Walali Yada. Peter Ann Wilson. Bachelor of Accounting, June G. Ung. Scott Keith David Durden. Madeline Rose Globan. Nur Zafira Ismail. Sifna Jayaraja. Jacqueline Lee. Damien John Main. Pejman Madani. Liam Joel Mariadas. Konstantin John Nomikudis. Himesh Vishrutha Sampath. Luke Aaron Strudwick. Maihan Vu. Bachelor of Commerce, Ben Anderson. Claire Alice Elizabeth Anglim. James Thomas Atkinson. Stuart Malcolm Carter Baird. Kieran Basur. Mark Andrew Bedogny. Shiona Jade Bellow. Catherine Benetton. Dominic Borzing. Nicholas Anthony Brady. Kate Sarah Breckler. Lachlan Clive Brown. Andy Bui. David Karamoni. Li Sheng Chan. Matthew Chang. Sambo Chia. Jia Lei Chen. William Chi Hao Chen. Xin Yi Chia. Chin Ze Min. Hon Chu. Gabriela Lina Chincotta. Kira Itsuko Constable. Nicholas James Cosgrave. Lewis James DeLutis. De Silva A.W. Justin Ajanta. Karen Desai. Bo Ding. Yuming Ding. Ryan Melinda Dissanayake. Kristen Maria Fernandez. Peter Funston. Vanessa Carla Gareto. Cindy Jiang. Daniel Mark Giannini. Bernard Adrian Haynes. Grace Kimberly Harnwell. Jason Harris. Thomas William Harrison. Keelan James Daniel Hartnett. Sam Haitley. David Gordon He. Casey Holmes. Natalie Jane Hua. Xu Yang Huang. Pranavi Ilaventan. Hasanti Jayaratna. Chamath Jayasinghe. Gregory Kuriakosa John. Hayden James Johnson. Anna Louise Johnston. Michael Graham Kahan. Ross Peter Katsambanis. William Alfred Kingwell. T. Lam Lee. John Quinn Liu. Andrew He Jun Lee. Jessica Francis Lyon. Cody Don McKay. Lucan Philip McCready. Benjamin John Mason. Benjamin Arthur Maslock. Benjamin James Mitten. Nizamuddin Yahya. Stuart James Morey. Christopher Joseph Navarro. Paul Tien Nguyen. Peter Kwong Nguyen. Tan Phuong Nguyen. Samuel Ewan Nicol. Evelyn Sophie Passy. Lauren Antonina Pecora. Benjamin Pham. Emily Rachel Rossi. Fatima Schroeder. Leah Nimas Sanata. David Eden Sifris. Carla Elizabeth Simmons. Manpreet Singh. Rebecca Jane Smith. Tommy So. Matthew David Starling. Jing Yi Su. Zhao Han Sun. Christina May Swinkles. Isaac Tam. Jia Tang Tan. Brian Jianwen Tia. Matthew Christopher Tamelli. Kan Niang Tao Pat. Julia Tong. Justin Z. Jing Tong. Michael Truckman. Gia Tran. Joshua Adam Trounce. Ishara Lakmini Vidyananda. Rachel Kathleen Vincent. Victoria Patrice Walker. Yun Wang. Julian Andrew Warhurst. Joshua Warren Cavallo. Bhagya Randika Wickramasinghe. Sisath Paraji Yanath Chamadu Wijaratna. Chase Garrett Williams. David Corvera Wood. Yuzi Wu. Jimmy Zhu. Jingjing Zhu. Zhengzong Eric Yao. Joel Yap. James Yip. Yip Mun Kiat. Guan Chang Yu. Keelong Zhao. Bachelor of Commerce Honours, Christopher David Allen. Samantha Ann Castles. And awarded the University Medal for Undergraduate Academic Excellence, Yiwa Lisa Chan. Andrew Michael Dallymore. Kate Morgan Drew. Catherine Rose Galatis. Emma Jean Gray. Brendan Thomas Hunt. Awarded the University Medal for Undergraduate Academic Excellence, Veronica Kadamskaya. Jenny Mai Lin Lee. Francesca Lukin. James Charles Stanley Main. Also awarded the University Medal for Undergraduate Academic Excellence, Amelia Ann Mills. Sophie Deborah Mitchell. Marshall Putra Muzadek. Awarded the Sir John Monash Medal, Luke Aaron Sell. Shata Imatsuka. Edward John Thwaites. Nathaniel Lee Tomasetti. David Michael Towns. Natasha Sarah Vulin. And also awarded the University Medal for Undergraduate Academic Excellence, Ding Yu Yan. Jin Yuan Yoon. The honours degree of Bachelor of Commerce, Ya Liu. Bachelor of Commerce, Accounting and Finance, Crystal Begita. Kai Kong Chan. Jia Yi Cheng. Yan Yik Chow. Wei Yang Sean Chua. Victoria Coco Chung. Jennifer Darsono. Hao Sion Ding. Jessie Goldfinger. He Lu. Jin Shuang. Katrina Shui Shan Lai. Richard Min Koa Lai. Ziman Jasmine Lai. Ji Liu. Wei Yan Ma. Xuan Kang Nguyen. David Sukwandi. Christopher Ka Fai Tan. Tasiani Tatang. William Waikit Tong. Rui Yang Wang. Andrew Wijaya. Anthony Yanakakis. Ziting Zhou. Bachelor of Economics, Toby Miwan Chen. Luke Adrian DeWitt. Ba Tin Do. Stephen Fan. Graduate Diploma in Health, Economics and Policy, Peter Omant. Doctor of Philosophy. For research titled Momentum for Change, a qualitative study of some of the key factors that shape organisational change, Dr. Laura Chantal Barker. For research titled Reframing Disaster Risk, Developing a Disaster Risk Management Framework for Bangladesh, Dr. Sadia Majid. For research titled Assessing the Economic Impact of Public Investment in Malaysia, a case study on my rapid transit project using a dynamic computable general equilibrium model, Dr. Meenakshi Muniandi. For research titled 3 Essays on the Long-Term Effects of Civil Conflicts in Cambodia, Dr. Uch Chandarani. For research titled Female Representation on Boards of Directors in Australia, the Link to Board Independence, Dr. Kelly Yolanda Tropea. For research titled, A Laugh a Day is Sure to Keep the Blues Away, Employees' Perception of Managerial Humour and Its Impact on Their Emotions and Psychological Resources. Dr. Wirakun Chiga Nilapama Wijawadana. And for research titled, 3 Experiments on Corruption, Dr. Kevin Jin Chi Wu. Mr. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics.
We now have the opportunity to hear from one of our talented musicians from the Sir Zelman Cowan School of Music. Please welcome Mr. Daniel Tan to the ceremony, who will be performing Largo from Sonata No. 3 by Bach. Thank you, Daniel, for that wonderful performance. The graduation address gives us the opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community. And we are fortunate today the address will be delivered by Professor Stephen King. Professor King is the Professor of Economics and co-director of the Business Policy Forum at Monash University. He is also a member of the Western Australian Economic Regulation Authority and a member of the National Competition Council. Professor King was Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business at Monash University from 2009 to 2011. Prior to joining Monash, he was a member of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, from where he was Mergers Commissioner. Professor King's main area of expertise are in competition economics, regulation, and industrial organisation. He has published his research in international economics and law journals. He is also a co-author of a leading undergraduate textbook on microeconomics. Professor King will be joining the Productivity Commission as a Commissioner on July 2016. I have now much pleasure in inviting Professor King to deliver the graduation address.
Deputy Chancellor, Senior Vice President of Academic Board, Dean, members of staff, distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Today we celebrate success. The success of the young men and women who have been presented to you as new graduates of Monash University. To our graduates today, may I say congratulations and well done. You should be very proud that you have earned the right to call yourselves graduates of one of Australia's most prestigious universities and one of the top universities in the world, Monash University. Your success in your studies means that you now have an exceptional qualification which you can proudly take with you wherever you may go on life's journey. But before you continue on your journey, I want to ask you a simple question. Who are you? Now, I know who your parents are. They are the baby boomers. I'm one of them. We're the babies of the 50s and early 60s. We grew up with hippies, through the Vietnam War, listening to punk and disco. We faced the Cold War. We were threatened by nuclear war. We are a generation who, in the memorable words of Roger Daltrey, hope we die before we get old. I bet most of your parents are glad that one didn't come true. But graduates, as a group, as a cohort, who are you? What do I call you? Now, to answer any question we know to ask, Google. So I did the Google search, and on this particular question, Google let me down. It is unclear what I should call you. Many of you were born in the early and mid-1990s. Now, the babies of the early 1990s are sometimes lumped in with the Gen Y babies of the 1980s. But clearly, if you were born in the mid-1990s, that's out. Now, in some places, you appear to be called Gen Z, purely because you follow Gen X, then Gen Y. Now, that name just shows a lack of imagination, although it does show that you know the alphabet. In other places, you are called echo boomers, reflecting your baby boomer parents. Now, this name might please your parents, but it doesn't tell me really much about you. Some places you're called the I generation, apparently because you grew up with the internet. That name just makes you sound like an Apple product. No, your generation, you need a new name. Your generation comes after Generation Y. Now, asking why can be useful. It's a good question in many situations. But a better question is, why not? When faced with challenges and potential solutions, you should ask, why not? If asking why is a negative, then asking why not is the positive. So for children of the 1980s can be called Generation Y, I think you graduates, mainly the children of the 1990s, can be called Generation Why Not. So congratulations to you, Generation Why Not, on your success so far. But what does it mean to be a member of Generation Why Not? What are the challenges that you will face in particular? What are the challenges that you will face in your working lives? And how will you face them? First, let me give you some background facts. In Australia, we talk about an ageing population, how there are not enough young people like you to keep working and pay the taxes so that your parents, us, can retire in well-deserved luxury. The same conversation is occurring in parts of Japan, China, and Europe. But population ageing is not true on a global scale. In terms of world population, you are part of the biggest generation that has ever lived. And with birth rates starting to fall in many countries, your generation may hold the population record well into the future. So where are these young people, if not Australia, Japan, China, or Europe? Well, Africa, India, South America. Some African countries, such as Uganda and Chad, have almost 50% of their population aged under 14. Nigeria is Africa's largest country by population. It has approximately 45% of its population aged under 14. India has a population of more than 1.2 billion, and more than 50% are aged under 25. So our first fact is simple. There are a lot of young people, a lot of people like you in the world today. Our second fact is also simple. On average, you can expect to live about 10 more years longer than your parents. You have 10 extra years of the most important commodity you can have, time. Now, this fact isn't particularly surprising. Your parents will also live about 10 years longer than your grandparents, and certainly 10 years longer than your great-grandparents. Advances in health and nutrition have given us all this extra gift of time. What about the third fact? The third fact is that artificial intelligence, advances in robotics and technology are going to transform your lives. Now, doomsayers get really excited about this fact. The Australian Financial Review headline earlier this year screamed, "Intelligent machines threaten mass job losses." Fortune magazine claimed, "The Google of China says that robots will take your jobs." So 3 facts: more time, more young people, more technological change. What do these 3 facts mean for you, for your generation, for Generation Why Not? Well, to a pessimist, things look pretty grim for your generation. There are more of you than ever before. You won't have any jobs because the robots will have taken them all, and your long lives mean that you are going to have to be stuck with all this misery for more time than any previous generation. But I think the pessimists are wrong. The size of your generation means that there are more young, dynamic, innovative people in the world than ever before. Many of these people are living in developing countries, so there's more potential for change in the poorer countries of the world than ever before. And your generation has one huge advantage over your parents. You know how to raise billions of people out of poverty. As The Economist magazine reported in 2013, nearly 1 billion people have been taken out of extreme poverty in the last 20 years. 3/4 of this gain has occurred in China. Why? Because China opened up trade, it opened its economy to the world, it allowed individuals to establish private businesses, it let its people take risks to improve their own and their families' lives, and to look out onto the world, not with fear, but as opportunity. This Chinese experiment has shown your generation that we can use economics and markets to massively improve the lives of hundreds of millions of people. So, the first challenge for your generation is to take the economic lessons from China and other parts of Asia and to help reduce extreme poverty by at least another 1 billion people over the next 20 years. And in each of the countries that most need your help, there will be a cohort of innovative, energetic people, part of your generation, ready to help you. Now, what about artificial intelligence and robots and your jobs? Well, some people argue that robots will take our jobs. I point to the staff members on stage. It is far more likely, I think, that robots will take part of jobs. Robots and AI machines will do the mundane tasks, the memory work, the fact-checking, the heavy lifting, the analytics. But they will free up workers from the most boring tasks to allow more time on those tasks that are generally enjoyable. Brainstorming ideas, interacting with human customers, creating unique products that will be valued for their uniqueness. How do we know this? Well, we've seen this type of technological dislocation of the workforce before. The early stage of the Industrial Revolution in Britain, between about 1780 and 1840, has been called Engels' Pause by Oxford economic historian Robert Allen. It was a period of technological change, growing labour productivity but stagnating wages. It was a time of increasing inequality, with the owners of capital gaining at the expense of landowners and labourers. This was the period of the Luddites, the gangs of textile workers and agricultural labourers who destroyed the machines they saw as taking their jobs. The changes of the early 1800s look very similar to changes today. And the lessons to take from history is that while change will ultimately lead to better outcomes, it will not be easy. So the second challenge for your generation is to learn from history, to understand the technological advances of the next 20 years, to recognise that this will cause inequality and that your generation needs to find solutions to best deal with the painful adjustment that will face many workers. Finally, what of life expectancy? You have an extra 10 years compared to your parents. When are you going to take it, and what are you going to do with it? You could wait till the end of your life. Take 10 years worth of extra leisure between the end of your careers and death. However, I suspect that's a recipe for poverty and boredom. Alternatively, you can cash in your extra 10 years at the start of your careers, now. Take the risks, seize the opportunities that were generally unavailable for your parents. Take time off to pursue your dreams, work for a few years, then take the risk to go out on your own and start your own business. Keep in contact with your friends from university, with your network, but instead of just talking about some of those great ideas, use your extra time to plan and turn those ideas into reality. Work overseas, travel, study, better understand the world. Take time off to tackle the big problems, even in just a small way. Now, before your parents get upset, I'm not suggesting that you be reckless. Take risks, but make sure you prepare and work to stack the odds in your favour. And recognise that if you're living into your late 80s and early 90s, then you will probably be working into your 70s. So taking time in your 20s to pursue your dreams will be time well spent. So, generation why not? This is your challenge. Use the gifts of youth, technological advance and time to work on a global basis to ensure that over the next 20 years, at least another 1 billion people are lifted out of extreme poverty around the world. Now, the skills that you've gained and the networks that you've created through your studies here at Monash will be a key to meeting this challenge. Now, we've named your generation, generation why not? We've set your challenge. Now we just need a motto for your generation. To get a motto, I want to draw on a quote that you've probably heard misquoted before. It was penned by playwright George Bernard Shaw. I think this is a great way to think about life for generation why not. You see things and you say why, but I dream of things that never were and say why not. Congratulations, graduates. May you go forth from Monash University into the world asking, why not? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor King, for an entertaining, thought-provoking speech address, I should say, on the opportunities that face Generation Why Not. It was very engaging. Graduates, as you leave the ceremony, remember that you're not leaving the university, no matter how far you may move away from this place and this time. As alumni of the university, you are joined to the university and to each other by a link that cannot be broken and we very much hope will be strongly maintained. I urge you to keep in touch with the university alumni group. The alumni page in your copy of the graduation program is a guide to what we have to share with you, wherever you may be. In congratulating you upon your achievements, I particularly want to acknowledge the contribution that your lecturers, supervisors, tutors, and the professional staff of the university have made in ensuring your presence at this ceremony. It's not always possible to give public recognition to their hard work and their dedication, but I would ask you now to take the opportunity to show them your appreciation by a round of applause. Thank you. I know that university study is not easy. During your many years of research and learning, you've had to cope with the stresses of examinations and assignments, and combine study with outside work or family commitments. Throughout this time, you're encouraged and supported by your parents, husbands, wives, partners, brothers, sisters, guardians, or friends. To acknowledge their contribution, I now invite you to stand, and turn, and express your gratitude by a round of applause. Thank you. Please be seated again. I cordially invite everyone to continue this celebration by coming to the Campus Centre Dining Hall for refreshments. Graduates, I invite you to join the procession as the official party leaves the hall, and I ask members of the audience to remain standing at their seats until all our graduates have left the hall. The ceremony is now at an end. Thank you.